Here's our next session. It's definitely cloudy. It's not supposed to rain. It is cold. The alpaca boys are in the back pasture, and our lead trainer, Tavis, is coming to get them. And I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to show you what it's like to come to get them for school. This is a lesson, and I told them this morning they're going to have school. It's about 10 o'clock in the middle of November. So every day that we schedule a lesson, we try to deal with the weather. And we were doing it kind of early today, thinking it might be sunny since the rain seems to be over, but it's not. The boys, however, have their fur, their winter fur. They're just fine. Rain or shine, cloudy or not, they lay outside. We're going to watch today to show our viewers what you do to get them to the classroom. They know the routine. And by the way, we're going to start doing some more ground driving. Our objective is going to be to take them for walks on these 20 lineal miles of trails come springtime. And we're going to have to do a lot of repetition before we're comfortable out on the trails. Even though there are no motor vehicles there on the Ranchos trails, there still are yards and other animals that maybe the alpacas are not familiar with. Here's our goats. We have 2 goats. They get along just fine. Okay, now I'm going to carefully walk to the tacking area. It is wet on the ground. I am elderly, and so I just try to be careful when I walk out here in my pastures and training areas. Rubber mats or not. The rubber mats are slippery, so they're dangerous. Where there are no rubber mats, there's a lot of grass and soft soil. And I just try to, when I come out here morning and evening, and during the day when we're having a lesson, I just try to walk with small steps and be near some place to hold on to if I slip or trip. Okay, so we're gonna halter. We're gonna do this quite often and deal with the issues. Show you how we get past them.
You want both of them?
No, one today. We're gonna, let's see, who do you have?
Beta.
Beta, good. Beta has always been our slow learner. That's why we call him Beta. But can you put the harness on? Because we're going to do not just walking with a halter. He's pretty good on that. We're going to do ground driving. We've got to make sure he understands what it means when we tug a little bit on the right or the left, when something touches him on a hip or a leg or a neck. We don't want him to be freaking out if something unusual happens out on our Ranchos trails. And I will be getting another, before spring, way before spring, another harness. Maybe just another goat harness like that one. That one seems to work. he's being good about being harnessed. Look, he's just standing there, his ears are back, but he doesn't seem to be stressed. It's like tacking up a horse. I bred, raised, and trained Morgan horses for over 40 years. And as they grew up and I started teaching them tacking, they got better each time. Repetition helps. Good, yes. Very good, Veda. That was excellent. He gets an A for tacking. Now, is he gonna walk with us? The last couple times that we've hitched a cart to the harness for both the Alpha and Beta, they've been good about it. They felt the weight of the cart shafts in their dog collars, which are our shaft holders. But eventually, maybe we'll do some cart driving around the big pasture, but going out to the trails, I think it's better just to plan on ground driving them out there with halters and families that want to come along. He's stepping over the shafts. Let's see if he'll back in. But then we need the ground driving lines, and you got to get those. We're going to start again here in the training area and go out to the big pasture. Will he back? No, he stepped on the shafts. Okay, it's just that he doesn't know what the right answer is. Well, I do have my clicker, and I'll try to let him know when he gives us the right answer. And there are our rope ground driving lines. But let's try to back him in, just to remind him that that's also part of being trained. They definitely know this is a training session. I call it school, but they know that when we do what we just did to start the lesson, that they're gonna be asked to do things with us and for us. Good, good. He's not quite straight, but he's standing there. He's not stepping on the shafts. I'm okay on that. And every time we do a session like this, let's do a walk in and a back in to the shafts. And there are the goats trying to get to the hay and the carrots. They're not crazy about rain, by the way. Whoops, a little bit of issue here trying to hook up the ground driving lines to the harness. Okay, we've done this. I mean, we did this months ago, but we're going to be doing it again. You can see he has forgotten. The goats don't like the rain. We had 2 days of rain and they pretty much just stayed around. Tried to find shelter. Good, good. See, now he's feeling the pressure of the ground driving lines on his harness. Oh, okay, now let's see, we're here in the training area. Can you just take the halter lead off and see if you can walk him around the trees like we used to do?
He's not gonna, but...
Yeah, well, we'll see. If he's gonna be naughty, we'll put the halter back on. Well, we'll try to get a third person here pretty soon. I do have somebody interested in helping us. Here's our corridor. Oh boy, yeah, you're right, he's not being good. He's got to be told by applying pressure of some sort that that's not the right answer. Oh, thank goodness, here comes that sun. Try to hold the ground driving lines in your right and left hand so that you can apply pressure separately, depending upon whether or not you want him to go to the right or the left. He's confused. He's swinging around. He's not sure what the right answer is. He was much better at this months ago when we were just starting his ground driving training. He's just forgotten. Okay, now I'm going to carefully walk out there and follow along and show you how we remind him what the right answer is, how we apply pressure if he gives us the wrong answer. But just so you can see, this is all wet ground, mounds of dirt. We're so lucky to be living here in the Ranchos where we have these 20 miles of trails, and I have 5 gates out from my 6-acre ranch here. We can do a lot of adventure out on the trails with the alpaca boys. We have been out there a couple times with just halters on. I think maybe the last time we even tried it with ground driving lines, but we've got to do many, many times before we feel that we're safe to be out there, especially if we have community people who want to take a walk with us. Okay, he's stepping in his water tub. Okay, that's okay. That's my phone, but I don't answer it when I'm training and filming. I do take it with me in case of emergency. Safety is always number one. I can tell that he's just not sure what he's supposed to be doing. No, that's okay. We'll remind him. This happens in the classroom too. Remember, I'm a credentialed secondary math teacher in California. I know what it's like to teach the kids mathematics. And I've been tutoring for decades. I think the best thing is to get behind him and kind of tug with the right line. Okay, now try to stay behind him. I know he's not sure what he's supposed to be doing. Look, he's saying, okay, now what? Now what, Mom? And use your click. You go cluck. We do that with horses all the time. They know that means move forward. Try to swing around back here. I'm going to hang out near shed 2. But it's nice and flat out there. I will be going out there soon, but let's see how they're behaving first. I would pull a little bit with your right to keep him straight. He doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. And you see, if he were in cart shafts, he's not supposed to be swinging his hips over. So we're trying to keep him. Oh, he just spit, I think. He's not sure what he's supposed to be doing. Okay, this is a review. He'll remember. He'll relearn. We're going to do a lot of this because that's what will give them confidence in ground driving. And they'll understand. Use your cluck. Use your word. Say walk, walk. Horses definitely understand words with repetition. And cows too. For decades I trained little mini cows as well as Morgan horses. And I can proudly say that never did they not learn. They got there. They just weren't sure what the right answer was, but then they eventually figured it out and were willing. That's good. Now, try to walk around this big back pasture at your choice of right or left, not their choice. And cluck, and say walk. And we're going to be working on backing too. See, we don't want them doing that spiral path out on the trails. We're going to want them to go forward. And if we get into a situation where they have to back out, we're going to want them to be willing to back out. He's kicking out a little bit. I think that's a body language statement. You know what? I have our long arm extensions. I have them back at the garage. We'll bring one out next time so you can just tap him. They're lightweight, easy to carry in your hand while you've got the ground driving lines in your hands. Alpha's kind of confused about, still after all these years, what is finish line fencing? That is stretchable cable. And he steps into it and then it doesn't move out of his way. So he has to learn to back off and go to the gates. Yeah, we definitely can't go out on the Ranchos trails until we get forward motion at our request. Alpha's still trying to get through the finish line cable. Okay, so far for ground driving, Beta is only getting a C. But that's okay. With repetition, we'll start getting the right answers. I'm pretty sure. Okay, holding on to the neck. Not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what happened. The ground driving line came off the halter, I think. Oh, he's just putting the lead line back on. Okay. So, you know, our plan will be to have somebody leading him in the next lesson. There goes Alpha. He did work his way onto the other side of the finish line, cable fencing. Now, will he be able to figure out how to come back here without going through the fence? Well, let's see. Let's watch him too. We're trying to teach, but we're also trying to understand the nature of our alpacas. Yeah, here comes Alpha. I think he understands that, okay, I can get there if I go through the gate. So we're opening the gate. Well, this was quite instructive. Try to go into one of the sheds as well. They're in and out of their sheds all day, but with ground driving lines on and halters on, they may be distracted. Are they concerned about the fact that it's got walls and ceilings and it's darker than out here? It looks like it. Okay, he finally said, okay, I'll go. I honestly was optimistic that we'd get better answers today. But I'm not real concerned about the fact that we aren't getting those better answers yet. And I'm going to hopefully be able to show you, those who choose to watch the Urban Alpaca Girl Show, how we work on making sure that we get the right answers. I think the next time we start a lesson, we're going to do some tracking inside my track that I made with white PVC, in and around, back and forward, so they'll understand what the pressures from the ground driving lines and the halters are telling them. They're going to be staying in the track or turning around and doing a U-turn in the track. And we'll be telling them that that's what we want them to do, and they'll be familiar with the feelings of the ground driving lines and the halter telling them that. I didn't expect this kind of interaction between alpha and beta for this lesson, but it's distracting, you see? Okay. Next time, we might have somebody just keeping alpha on the halter. And we can walk along so that they are close to each other, but he won't be able to be so rowdy as he is right now. And here's the wet rubber mats that I told you I'm very cautious about. They're not all on straight, flat ground, so I could slip easily from the water, from the puddles, from gravity pulling me one way or another. I try to hold on. Okay, we're untacking. Yeah, I'm really glad we did this today on this lesson. We've learned a lot about what we need to work on for prerequisite skills in order to safely, with pleasure, take the boys, the alpaca boys, out on the trails this spring. And we've got all of winter to practice it in between rainstorms. And now you see Beta's just grazing. It doesn't have a lasting effect on his psyche, but definitely we've learned a lot about what prerequisite skills we have to work on. And now Tavis goes and opens all the gates that the boys are used to having open, rain or shine, cloudy or sunny. And they're watching him. And then we're going to go upload this Urban Alpaca Girl show. And if you've subscribed, you'll be notified that it has been uploaded on YouTube. And if you have any questions or comments, please make them on the YouTube show or email sonyasokolow@gmail.com. SONYASOKOLOW@gmail.com. No caps, no spaces. And let us know if you're trying any of these techniques on your alpacas and have any questions. And we'll give you our best judgment from the point of view of the trainers. Goodbye for now.